Hey guys, I'm Stan Wolf. Welcome back to the channel. Time to talk about themes, what I think we should expect, what some of my buddies think that we should expect, and what is not coming. And the first thing that I kind of want to put out there is I'm getting some comments on Instagram and Twitter what about the core themes? What about Western and pirate and all this? That's not coming with the launch of this, guys. Like your Western, spooky, sci-fi, pirate, fairy tale, in the sense that you think of those as being generic stock themes. That's not how this game is particularly going to go. Now, not saying you won't get variations of that, but I think as far as 2024 goes and as far as this new game moving forward, you're not just going to have a quote unquote pirate theme. But I think a lot of us, and Nerd Chacho made me feel a little better looking at some of these. Kind of like, just because what they're called shouldn't alarm us to the point where we're like, how am I going to build this section of my park, or what am I going to do now? It's like Nerd said, one of the first responses I got was from him, and he said, I have a feeling that Rustic Viking might have Western covered in some respects. They share a style palette, and I think a lot of us need to go in looking at it like that. It's, yes, they may call them like a new kind of, a sexy new theme name. But I think if we look at it in the prism of, okay, I need this for my Western land, or I want to do a Viking water park, or a Western water park. What Nerd is saying is, okay, you're probably going to be able to do that. It's just not going to be called Western. You'll have to pull from Rustic Viking. You may have to pull from mythological. But I think that the turn that they're taking with these, I just, like I said, I think they sound more attractive. Mythological set, Rustic Viking, the aquatic set, all of this stuff I think is going to have many, many pieces that will help you get your vision out there. But I also think too, we have to remember that this is a brand new game. It's not going to come with TMTK. It's not launching with like 12 DLCs worth of content. I think a lot of us have to remember that Planet Coaster launched with only 5 themes: pirate, Western, Planet Coaster, fairy tale, sci-fi. One of the newest iterations of the genre, Park Beyond, launched with 5: Alien Planet, Candyville, Park Beyond, Da Vinci, Western. And if you roll all the way back to 2004, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 launched with the Roller Coaster Tycoon generic Western spooky sci-fi adventure. They're just going to take a different approach, and I think some people are afraid that when you hear mythological set, it's going to box you in. But I believe that the pieces that will launch with these sets, you're really going to have to think outside the box. And I think it's going to help push your creativity, and maybe it will help you see some of these themes in a different light than what they are intended. And what's like the number one rule of playing Planet games and Frontier games? You rarely play and use the pieces how Frontier intended them to be used. And it also goes back to kind of even just watching the launch trailer or looking at some of these screens. What we do, what Nerd Chacho does, what Jonty does, Mass Bandit, I can't wait to see what Moomin Little Socks does. What you see on these screenshots, it's not going to be anything like what we're going to do with it. No shade thrown at the developers, but they're not designers like us, and they're not particularly in the way we will. They're not going to have 2,000 or 3,000 hours on some of these parks and in this game. It's where we take over and push the envelope that is going to show what the game and what these themes are capable of. So like I said, a lot of times when you look at these screenshots and you think, man, that freaking, like, what am I going to do with the aquatic theme? Like, it's just pipes and rocks. Like, I'm never going to have purple rocks in my park. Well, no, you probably won't. And that's the point. Like, you're going to take these pieces and you're going to do great things with them. You are going to have our jaws on the floor. Look how generic, we thought that the Planet Coaster piece, sets were going to be, just starting out with, Planet Coaster back in 2016. As far as Pirate and Western goes, we're like, man, this is kind of slim, but it's okay. Let's roll with it. Dude, there are pieces, like, if I were to jump into Planet Coaster right now, there are pieces from the Pirate set from the original launch that I still use to this day. I would still use. I think it's going to be the same thing with. I have not even seen a piece of Rustic Viking. Nerd and them may have seen, or it might have been Elizabeth Ham said that she saw some pieces she thinks in the trailer of Rustic Viking. But I can tell you right now, just by the name of that theme, I will probably be using that theme 5 years from now. Like, there are so many different ways you can twist and pull these themes, that I just think we just need to chill a minute. Let's get to this Frontier Direct. Let's get to this Unlocked, and kind of let's let some of this start rolling out, and let's see some of this theme. And I bet you your minds are gonna start rolling. I am already like, I am full on, like, like Viking rustic water park mode. Like, my biggest thing right now is, and one of the first things I think I want to do when I jump in the game is, I really want to use these themes and create and, like, try my best to recreate like a Disney river country, the defunct little water park that used to set on the lake there. And my mind is just going. I'm sitting at work thinking, what am I going to do with these slides? How am I going to outline them? How am I going to, support them in the way that I want to support them? Because, the game's going to come with big metal supports, but, that's where we kick in and we start custom supporting, these water slides, kind of like I showed you in the last video with my old water park project in Planet Coaster. I just think that these, like, don't let the names of these themes kind of set you back into thinking, what am I going to do? Like, we don't have any of those generic themes that you tend to lean on when these games first launch. I think we are going to have I think it's going to be fun. I think, like I said, we should not let the names just kind of detract from the creativity that I think we're going to have once we get our hands on this. Even my buddy Mineral said, I'm a little concerned for us generic and rustic lovers. We need our simple wooden beams. And I told him, I said, hopefully the Viking sets takes care of that. And in the demo I saw, and I'll just tell you too, I saw some glorious wood beams that were being held together with some very, very cool looking rope ties, kind of like, almost like nautical pirate rope ties, really thick rope ties. So I think, like I said, that for the generic lover and for the rustic lover, Viking, as Nerd said, I think that's going to have us covered. And that's what's got me really, really excited, being able to, we're going to be able to jump in here and push the envelope without the backing of those generic themes. We're going to be able to show what we can do with mythological, rustic, Viking, aquatic, resort. And who knows, resort may help with, how a lot of people in Planet Coaster love doing the outskirts of the parks. They love doing like office buildings and hotels and making it look like the theme park is right on the edge of a little town. I think the resort pack is going to make that so much more helpful and believable for those guys that, Mass Bandit, that like to do those little stories beyond the gate, if you will. That'd be a good, like, that'd be like a good podcast, wouldn't it? I should do that, like a weekly podcast rundown, but call it Beyond the Gates, like beyond the theme park gate. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm going to mark that down. Beyond the Gate podcast, Beyond the Gates. And you know, I think it'd be a cool, like, we could encompass all of the news around Planet Games and Planet Coaster 2 and the Planet series. I'm going to you know what? I'm going to jot that down right now. That just thank you, Mass Bandit. I'm going to jot down Beyond the Gates podcast. I could jump on here and nerd out with you guys over that. All right, trademarking that, Beyond the Gates. But anyways, guys, yes, check out Moomin, check out Nerd Chacho. Mass Bandit just got his power back on. He is covering the game now. Very, very insightful videos from those guys. And of course, John T and Simply Savannah's, you know, they're covering the game. Lots of good content out there to consume as we're all kind of waiting for more information. So anyways, guys, I'll jump on out of here. This is just my little Friday idea. Got a lot of questions about the themes and people worried. So figured drop a video and chat this out with you guys. And as always, let's keep it going down in the comments section. And yep, we'll let you guys up on any news we hear. So appreciate it. See you.